Hey everybody, my name is Mike. I am Not for Coltrane. Welcome to your Coltrane Tuesdays for this, the 25th day of July in the year 2023 of the Common Era. We actually started on time. We started early. Holy cow. I literally can't remember the last time that happened. But yeah, things have so far been going relatively well. And I'm eager to share with you the song that I have selected to start off today, and I hope that you are going to share with me the song that you would like to hear for the Not for Coltrane Stump-the-Band game. As always, I would love to hear from folks who are online with us. It looks like there might be a few folks who are live online with us. There may also be some folks who are watching this on the replay in the future, in which case, hello from the past. Because that is how recorded media works. But yes, so we're going to play a round of the Not for Coltrane Stump-the-Band game. Last time I neglected to describe that at the top of the show, so I will definitely mention it again now how that works. See, the Not for Coltrane Stump-the-Band game, within that game I have to play a requested song regardless of whether I know the requested song. So if someone requests a song that I do know, I will attempt to play it to the best of my recollection. If someone requests a song that I sort of know, like I've heard other people play it before, I've heard it on the radio or on Spotify or something, I will attempt to figure out how to play it here in front of everyone. If I do not recognize the requested song at all, I will have to make up a brand new song right here on the spot with the same name as the song that was requested, thereby technically satisfying the requirement. That is how we play the Not for Coltrane Stump-the-Band game. And folks are from Soul Train to Coltrane. Yes, absolutely. We need some people dancing in the background or something. So yes, thanks very much to folks who are letting me know that the video and audio are functioning as intended. Thanks so much for stopping by, Rex. I believe I owe you a text message. But yes. So today we are going to, first off, now is a great time to get in your requests for the Not for Coltrane Stump-the-Band game, because there's a little bit of a lag between when you hit send on your end and when it shows up on a screen where I can read it. So, be thinking on that now, or get out your requests. But I'm going to, while we're doing that, we're going to start off with a song of my choosing. And I had hinted somewhat broadly in the thumbnail as to where this might be going. There is a road sign with a tractor on it. There are a couple songs that could have been, but in fact this one is Take Me Home Country Roads, the John Denver song. I'm going to do a bit of I had as always, I did a little bit of a investigation in terms of the history and the songwriting and the circumstances, and I knew some of it. I knew a lot of it, but there were even more fun, or at least I thought they're fun, details to learn about how it came together. The way that I play the song is not necessarily the traditional way of playing the song. It's inspired by another performer, and I'll talk about that too. But this week, the rehearsal for the song happened at an actual gathering I was at the other day when we had out the guitars and we're jamming a little bit. And someone said, hey, we should do Country Roads. And I'm like, yes. And then when I needed a song to do for this week's Coltrane Tuesdays, I said, aha, yes, Country Roads. That's excellent. That is a good one to do. So here we go. My version. You will notice a few deviations from the classic version that you know and love. I hope you enjoy. Almost heaven, Pennsylvania, Lehigh Valley, Delaware River. Life is old here, older than the trees, younger than the mountains, blowing like a breeze. Country roads, take me home to the place I belong. Pennsylvania, mountain mama, take me home. Country roads, and all my memories gather around her. Miner's lady, stranger to blue water, dark and dusky, painted on the sky. Miss the taste of moonshine, teardrop in my eye. Country road, take me home place I belong. Pennsylvania, mountain mama, take me home. Country roads, I hear a voice in the morning hour. She calls me, a rainy hour reminds me of my home far away. Driving down the road, I get the feeling that I should have been home yesterday. Yesterday, country roads, take me home to the place I belong. Pennsylvania, mountain mama, take me home. Country roads, take me home to the place I belong. Pennsylvania, mountain mama, take me home. Country roads, take me home. Country roads, take me home. Down country roads. There you go. That is my version of Take Me Home Country Roads, the classic John Denver tune. As I mentioned, of course, there are some modifications I made. The most notable being the substitution of Pennsylvania for the West Virginia and the West Virginia references. The funny thing about that is when I was at the jam the other day, people were playing some music. Someone's trying to text me. This is an inconvenient time. Stop. Go away. Leave me alone right now. Someone was trying to when we were playing the Take Me Home Country Roads at the jam over the weekend. I had to consciously say, wait, no, but Pennsylvania, and what are the other things in there? Oh, right, Blue Ridge Mountains, Shenandoah River, to fit in the to fit that one in. So yeah, but what that turned out to be more appropriate than I realized. So let me give a little bit of the notes in the in terms of how the song came together. Of course, we know it as a John Denver song. It is in fact written by three people, including John Denver. The other two being Bill Danoff and Taffy Nivert, I think Nivert. The two of them had been doing music together. They were also a romantic couple. They had started performing as a duo. The duo was called Fat City. Perhaps not the most marketable name for the kind of folky, harmonizing music that they were doing. My guess is it was one of those things that just kind of stuck. Maybe was, I suspect, probably a commentary about how well they thought they were going to do financially as a duo of folk musicians. Not unsurprisingly, after recording a couple of albums as Fat City, they subsequently started recording albums as Bill and Taffy. They did go on to then form the Starland Vocal Band, which of course is known for Afternoon Delight, which, so that's the thing. Anyway, so the story with how the song came together, I had not realized the local connection that I had to this band because the song was written in Washington, D.C. So Bill and Taffy were in fact driving down the road to go see, I believe, Taffy's family in Gaithersburg, Maryland, and Bill's strumming on the guitar and had a couple ideas about it, and I believe at that point neither one of them had ever been to West Virginia, so they had some friends and fans who would come up from West Virginia, and were sort of influenced by their impression of them. A key thing was when Bill was growing up, he would listen to a radio program. He was growing up in Massachusetts. He would listen to a radio program called the Saturday Night Jamboree, which was broadcast from West Virginia. So they had this idea of West Virginia, and they were kind of kicking around this idea. In fact, Bill remarked that he was thinking of substituting in Massachusetts instead of West Virginia because it scans with the same number of syllables. So first off, that's one for me substituting in Pennsylvania. So Fat City, Bill and Taffy were opening for John Denver at the Cellar Door, the legendary venue there in Georgetown in D.C. They had just started this run, if I understand this run of shows. It was right around the very end of 1970, and they were hanging out afterwards. And Bill and Taffy said, "Hey, we got the song we're working on," and John hears it and is like, "Oh my God, that's amazing! We've got to finish that song and make it work." And so they stayed up all night until like 6 a.m., rearranging the lyrics they had, putting a bridge together. And the very next night, during John Denver's set, he had Bill and Taffy up to sing the song with him. In fact, the original single was John Denver with Fat City, and the two of them did some vocals on John Denver's record there. Since none of them knew that much about West Virginia, even though they had decided this is what was going to be the subject of the song, they literally were looking in an encyclopedia for details about West Virginia. So in terms of like the authentic West Virginian experience, obviously it's been embraced by West Virginia. I think it was in 2014. It became one of the official state songs of West Virginia. There is obviously something that they did manage to tap into, but it was not based on firsthand experience in Pennsylvania, in West Virginia. I do feel like the sort of the Appalachian connection, and there are definitely parts of Pennsylvania that have a lot in common with many parts of West Virginia. So there you go. I could talk about this for a very, very long time, but I'll mention just a few other brief things. The version of the song that sort of reawakened my awareness of it was by a guy named Mike Doty. Mike Doty was the frontman for a band called Soul Coughing, which was kind of as big as you can get and still be underground in the alternative world for quite a while. Mike Doty had some drug issues. The band broke up, but he went on to go do some solo things. I stumbled across his recording of this song, which was in fact from his album The Flip Is Another Honey, which came out in 2012, which was an album largely of covers. Because usually he would just do covers at the live shows, and then he put, surprise, here's an album with a bunch of covers on it. Roseanne Cash does the backing vocals on Mike Doty's version of Country Roads. When I went back and listened to Mike Doty's version of Country Roads, I realized I had taken it farther than he did in terms of sort of giving it more of a rock edge. But I do think his performance is worth checking out. And the connection with the Cash family is also kind of remarkable. Bill and Taffy, when they hadn't finished the song, they were planning to finish it and shop it to Johnny Cash. There is a delightful video of for some sort of special or another, of John Denver and Johnny Cash singing the song together, which is really cool. I'll post a link to that afterwards. You can find various versions of it online. Most of them, either the audio is crummy or the video is crummy, or both. I'll post a version I found that has pretty decent audio, but iffy video. And then so it comes around again fully with Roseanne Cash doing backing vocals on that song with Mike Doty. I think John Denver is one of those guys who, his look. That especially from the early days in his career of the giant wire rim glasses and the floppy hair and the aw shucks sort of demeanor and the really loud shirts, didn't necessarily hold up, and has led to things like Dave Barry, the humor columnist, describing him as a mega weenie, and yeah, I can see that. And at the same time, just the really sort of the clear, penetrating tone of his vocals really is pretty remarkable, as well as a lot of activism for a lot of causes that still are very, very relevant today. In some ways, almost ahead of his time in terms of the things that he was advocating for, in terms of LGBT stuff, and or at least at that point probably, but in any case, but more of an open in terms of the lesbian and gay communities. Environmental concerns was a big thing for him, and in terms of raising money for less fortunate folks and all sorts of things like that were very much in his wheelhouse. Very good friends for a long time with Jim Henson, which I thought was cool. I hadn't known that. He had a lot of also darkness sort of going on in his personal life in various ways. To me, suggests probably some mental illness challenges he was dealing with. It definitely documented that he had some pretty severe issues with alcohol. So it's interesting. I think there's a lot more going on here than kind of the stereotype would suggest, or the way that most people think of John Denver. I highly recommend. There was a television program, a documentary called John Denver, A Song's Best Friend. I'll see if I can find it. Song's Best Friend, John Denver Remembered. That came out in 2005, and is apparently available on Amazon Prime and things like that. And it definitely, looking at that, was first off what introduced me to some of the history behind Country Roads, which was basically John Denver's first big hit, as well as some of the challenges and sort of the complexity that underlies the sort of sunny persona that he would try to project. So I'd also say that what stuff he was doing in the 90s, I didn't even realize he was still a thing in the 90s, before he died in a plane crash in 97. He was doing stuff with the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band and had cleaned up the haircut and gotten some contacts, and it's interesting to think about what he might have gone on to do had that life not ended when it did. So anyway, lots of interesting stuff about John Denver. I will post links afterwards on the YouTube version of this so people can check out some of those if you're interested. Also, with other things going on, Rex mentioned, which I'm very grateful that he brought this up, that the deadline to sign up to perform at College Hill PorchFest in Easton is July 31st. So that's coming up in just a couple of days. Just a couple of days to sign up for the event. The event itself is on September 24th. College Hill PorchFest, I love this event so much. People in the College Hill neighborhood of Easton, Pennsylvania, open up their porches and their front stoops, and performers of all stripes and genres and all different kinds of things just come and hang out on the porches. And I think above all else, it is a really great sort of neighborhood community building kind of exercise of people just coming and hanging out. And how often these days do we actually visit with our neighbors? And so it was really a cool thing. The Big Easy Easton Brass has been involved with this for, I believe, quite a few years now. I presume the Beeb will be back as part of it again this year. But if you are a performer, or if you know someone who is and thinks they would be interested in being part of this, please check out the College Hill PorchFest. If you search for College Hill PorchFest online, you should be able to find it. I will try to post some links as well so people can know about the deadline for signing up for that. And Rex, I appreciate you reminding me about the deadline, because that is soon, and that needs to get worked out. All right, so and also a key thing for performer musicians, it is I believe still an unpaid gig, or as my friend Mike Holliday used to say, karma gig. You do get food in the form of the potluck that wraps up the event. So I know that is a deal breaker for some folks, but if you're in a position that you can donate a performance and support this really cool community event, highly recommended. All right, so it is just about time to do the Not-for-Coltrane Stump-the-Band game. I'm not seeing any requests just yet. Rex often has good ones, so we'll see what comes in. Our friend Margot may also be watching. We'll see if she comes up. When I saw her the other day, she remarked that she had a list of things, like when it occurs to her during the week that, this might be something interesting to suggest to Mike for the Stump-the-Band game. So we'll see. Now is a great time to get in your requests for the Not-for-Coltrane Stump-the-Band game. Again, in case you missed the beginning of the show, people give me suggestions and I have to play a requested song regardless of whether I know the song. If someone requests a song that I do know, or at least mostly know, I will do my best to perform it to the best of my recollection. If someone requests a song that I sort of know, like I've heard people play it before, or I've seen people do it at open mics, but I've never actually played it myself, I will then attempt to figure out how to play it here in front of you. If I do not recognize the requested song at all, I will make up a brand new song right here on the spot. with the same name as the song that was requested, thereby technically satisfying the requirement. That is how we play the Not for Coltrane Stump-the-Band game. Instant Karma by John Lennon is Rex's request for the Stump-the-Band game. I have no idea what that song goes like. My knowledge of Beatles and John Lennon and Paul McCartney songs is unfortunately someone. Oh, okay. We've got two. We've got Hook by Blues Traveler, and we've got Instant Karma by John Lennon. All right. So, oh, this is intriguing. All right. So what I'm going to attempt. Feel free to pick Steven's request. All right. With that dispensation from Rex, I'm going to try to focus on Hook, but I will try to also bring in the idea of Instant Karma. It's definitely, it almost certainly is going to sound better, the Blues Traveler version, but we'll see. I think that's basically the chord progression. Let's pick something that's pretty. I know it's these chords. I don't think I have the order quite right, but all I can think is no woman, no cry. No woman, no cry. I know those first three chords are right. That fourth chord isn't quite right. That's it. To figure out what key I'm going to do that in. I believe I forgot my capo, which is not ideal. I might have to go grab that from across the room. I also want to do this in the honor of John Popper. I am like I have 1/1000th, no, less than that, 1/1,000,000th of John Popper's harmonica ability. Let's see what we can do. It does seem appropriate that there should be a harmonica involved if we're gonna do a Blues Traveler song. It is I remark somewhat periodically, I don't know if I've done it on this show or not, remark that it's challenging to write a good song about writing a song. It's not impossible, and there definitely are some really good classic examples of it, but in general, it can be so sort of like just navel gazing and not particularly interesting. Hook has a distinction of not just being a song about writing a song, it's about how superficial the song itself is, but how it's gonna, you're gonna love the song anyway. So very, very meta. Let's see, where would I have left my capo? I'll be right back. This is gonna be really, really not very good video for the next couple seconds. While I do that, fortunately, I was able to turn up the capo exactly where I thought it was, so that's good. All right, let's see. If I do this in this key, okay, so I need to remember that the last note of the phrase is generally a one where I suck air back through the harmonica, so that lands there. All right, I think we have just about everything that we need in order to let's see what the key is. What brings you back? I ain't telling you no lies. The hook brings you back. Oh, that you can't deny. I feel like for the part of the range where it should be, it's not quite high enough. Let's see, if I'm going to transpose it, I think I probably need to stay where it is based on the harmonicas that I have. If I am going, in fact, to do harmonica, this could be the key of A. I could bump it up to, yeah, no, it's just going to have to be here. All right. I'll keep on going. Going so well. It was going so well. All right, take two. Here we go. It doesn't matter what I say. It doesn't matter what I say as long as I sing with inflection. Complexion is a fine verb, fine rhyme for that, and it's got to be something else. All right, and that's going to be about gonna catch your ear or something like that. All right, here we go. Take two. I keep going anyway. My face turns red, that's this complexion. I'll get the sun in your ear, so it can't go away, and it's gonna stay there. It's gonna stay there all day. Now something amiss. I'm being insincere. In fact, I don't mean any of this, but this confession draws you nearer. Might say it's instant karma, like John Lennon used to say. Not for free, but don't tell me. Don't sing to me out of love. I will also rage and pain the thing for yourself. But I can't keep these feelings on the shelf. I tried. I know that I lied. I know that's fine. There's a sign that I tried. I can't sing this fast a song. It's going too fast, but I'll sing along and I'll find a way to make it work. But things we can't go going through the single such a jerk, and then we can win this. But the heart breaks you back. Some of those were actually words. So thanks, and my favorite part of that was that I decided to I took the song up a whole step, made it higher, went and got the capo so that I'd be able to sing it down the octave and not strain my voice. And then I went ahead and sang it up anyway, which was even harder because I put the capo on. There you go. So there you go. That's almost like the lyrics don't matter that much. Yes, that is true. Good observation, Stephen, and I thank you for that. Thank you for that request, and of course, thanks also to Rex for his request for John Lennon, Instant Karma. I was able to work in a reference into the improvised lyrics that we came up with. So there you go. But we'll see. That may go on the do-over pile of to find a way to do John Lennon's Instant Karma. I think probably I can do a better version of Hook by Blues Traveler as well. That's definitely, it's got me thinking. Thank you for that, Stephen. That's got me thinking that could be one that finds its way into other set lists of mine in the near-ish future. So there you go. So yeah, there you go. Thanks so much for Stephen and for Rex for hanging out. Thanks to Mark, who is also chiming in with some comments. For everyone who's been hanging out with us online, thanks. It's very cool of you. Thanks. We got some background and information that you probably didn't know about the writing of Country Roads or Take Me Home Country Roads by John Denver and what's it called? The Fat City. And I wrote this out ahead of time. I was going to remark. So bringing it back to West Virginia, I knew that Dave Barry had written something about John Denver being a weenie. I was looking up online to try to figure out what the specific reference was, and I found it from Dave Barry's Only Travel Guide You'll Ever Need, where he is doing a breakdown of what in each individual state in our 50 states in the nation, with a little description of each one. He wrote, "The appeal of this dynamic, rugged state is perhaps best described by the words of mega weenie John Denver, who sang, 'Almost heaven? West Virginia?' West Virginia has long been a major attraction for tourists seeking to escape from their 9-to-5 office-bound jobs for a chance to get out in the country and mine some coal." So there you go. So let's get out in the country and mine some coal in whatever metaphorical way that might mean for all of us. Apologies to West Virginia for substituting in my current home state of Pennsylvania, but I do really think it fits rather well. So again, thanks to everyone who's been watching. Thanks to everyone who watches the replay. Folks have been chiming in with comments and song suggestions and all of the things. Thanks so much, especially anyone who subscribes on YouTube or hits the like button, or if you like Not for Coltrane on Facebook. We, I believe, are at 71 subscribers on YouTube. I would love to break 100. That'd be really cool. So let your friends know so we can get some more folks subscribe over here on the YouTube and do that sort of cool thing. And I'll figure out something to play for next week. I don't know what it is yet, but we'll find out. Until then, please take care of yourselves and really just take care of each other. My name is Mike. I'm Not for Coltrane. I'll see you next time.